the nice question then, you've still got some time on your Harlequins contract. You can still go and win some silverware, and you can still get to 300 games. So there's a few nice memories you could still leave Harlequins fans, isn't there?
Yeah, look, that was always a mindset of mine. Kind of this year at the club when I was getting towards that marker. Fingers crossed I stay fit. Fingers crossed we play some games, and of course we can have a little climb up the league. Of course it's going to be very competitive, but we'll see. Of course that would be very much a fairy tale ending, and hopefully things can go that way. But as we know in sport, they don't always happen. But yeah, we'll do our best to try and achieve that. I can't remember what was the other question.
I think maybe winning some silverware, but the second question was going to be about all the issues that are going on at the moment. I mean, I've been at Twickenham and sung "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" with you playing, and I've enjoyed singing it. You've probably enjoyed having it sung to you, but I just wonder what you kind of made of the debate over the past few days, whether it's good that those conversations are taking place, and whether your wife's even sung it.
Yeah, look, in all honesty, I didn't know the history of it, and I think it's making people aware of stuff and making people aware of their past, which is always for the better. In terms of what's going on in the movement and stuff, we're fully supportive of it, fully behind all the movements. But like I said, it's trying to finish my time here at the club, and I'm one of the lucky ones. There's a lot of people around the league, a lot of people at Quins who unfortunately won't get the chance to wear their club shirts again, whether they've moved on. And look, I think because my season where I'm going next won't start till January, of course that gives me that kind of window. But if I'd gone to one of the places you had said in France or Japan or something, I might not have had a little bit of closure. So for me, it's definitely, even though there probably won't be crowds there, it's allowing myself to finish that chapter of my life.
Chris, hi, Chris Foley, if you can see me. Obviously, you were talking about your specific reasons for moving, and you've sort of given it a lot of thought for a while. But do you think, given all the things that are going on at the moment, more English players might look to America or look abroad? Just, there might be more of a move to sort of go elsewhere because guys are going to struggle for contracts, money's tight. There's a lot of factors behind it at the moment. Yeah,
I think there are. And of course, for me, obviously, like I wanted to play for my home team, all that kind of stuff. But England was a massive pull. I always wanted to play for my country. I always wanted to stay here and play as long as I can. And as long as I could for England. And of course, since not being involved, that's made that decision to look elsewhere, to have a life experience, all this type of thing, a bit easier for me to pull away from. Of course, I've had a long time with the club. So yeah, I think it definitely will kind of open that up.
Chris, it's Alex Spink. Afternoon. Is one of your thoughts for going abroad, Chris, looking at the example of someone like David Beckham with football a few years ago, and he went over very much in a kind of pioneering role, kind of blazing a trail for what might be possible over in America, and looking to leave some sort of kind of personal legacy. Is that a part of your thinking?
Not really, to be honest. It's very flattering that you're comparing me to very different bank accounts, unfortunately. But look, it was. It's just to have a good experience. It's to play rugby, but probably not play as intensely as a French league or a Japanese league, but also play a good quality of it. It's to go there and have fun, as much fun kind of off the field as I can on the field as well. And like I said, if I can help players develop in that kind of region, albeit a lot of it, to be honest, is unknown. Speaking to Darren and stuff, their owner, we can hear bits, but I haven't been over there. Seen some images and stuff like this, and we're not really sure what to expect. We could get over there, and rugby could be huge, it could be not, and it's kind of going with the flow a little bit, kind of really kind of taking it in stride and making the most of it. And yeah, look, if we can help the region and help San Diego, because from what I've been told, it's the biggest rugby area over there at the moment. So we can help that next generation, and in terms of helping those grassroots levels come through, so it helps the national side, then albeit. But in terms of what to expect, I'm not quite sure, but I'm looking forward to it.
And will there be an opportunity to work in the media over there, American TV or anything? Is that part of your plan?
That's not part of the plan at the moment, but yeah, definitely looking into it. Definitely speaking to Alex Corbacero at the moment. Of course, he does his work with NBC. but I think he's more New York based, and just seeing if there are opportunities for that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's a fresh thing. I did a couple of interviews with some of the journalists the other day on a Zoom thing, and it was even quite new to them. They were still learning a lot about the game, a lot about the league. It will only be their third season. You think what we are, 25 years, and that's professional. We've had amateur a lot before that, and so look, it will take some time to catch up.
Chris, is this anyway a first step into coaching as well? Is that something you see down the line or not?
You know what? I've always thought I didn't want to go into coaching. Always for a long time, I've not wanted to go into coaching. And whether I want to go into coaching fully, I'm not sure. I've always been happy to coach here and there or mentor or guide kind of training sessions and stuff like that. But I think to be a full-time coach is hard. It's a hard gig. I don't think it's as easy as some players may assume when they retire and think, oh, what can I go straight into? And I think to be a good coach, not just coach, but to be a good coach, you have to love it, because you've got to dedicate yourself to it. So look, I'm very much leaving my kind of options open at the moment. We've got a 2-year deal over there, which the seasons are 6 months, including pre-season, which over here is 11 months or so. So I'm hoping it'll be a lot nicer on my body. Of course, there's still some big boys and stuff which you've got to deal with. But yeah, for me, hopefully the intensity will drop off and it'll allow me to stay mentally fresh, mentally sharp in the body as well.
Chris, Adam here. How you doing? Are you moving lock, stock and barrel over there, over to the States? I mean, your business in Winchester and all that?
Unfortunately, they're not coming, no. It would be nice. No, look, yeah, we're upholding and we're moving out, getting the house rented out, all that kind of stuff. But we will be back for kind of where the work is in the kind of the 6-month period. We'll hopefully get to travel a lot and just explore different options. Again, we're not sure. We could be in media things. We could be, have a couple of nice holidays and make the most of it. And that's one of the benefits of this as well, that it is a 6-month season. And it does allow you a bit more freedom than I've had in the last 16 years of my life.
Yeah, sure.
Chris, you mentioned Riley about being glad to go stateside with what's going on in with clubs and players at the moment. How bad is it? And do you see a way through it without some blood being spilled?
Look, you know what, I don't want to go into it too much. And actually, from a club point of view, I've not actually been one of the guys dealing with it. I was dealing with a lot of the initial stuff in terms of what was this season when we were last pre all the COVID lockdown and all that kind of stuff. And because I'm not there, next season, another group is dealing with that. So in all honesty, it's allowed me just to relax, to get back into training and focus. But yeah, look, I imagine it's going to take a bit of time to be played out, all of this.
Just additionally, it looks like when you do get started again, it may be that you get to play at the Stoop again with all the clubs playing home and away. How fitting will that be for your send-off, even with no fans in there?
You know what, it's going to be a little bit surreal. I think just the opportunity to wear the shirt, play at the Stoop again will probably be emotional enough, I'm sure. For something I've only ever known. It's been my home for a long time. I've never known anything else properly. So yeah, look, it will be nice. Of course, it would be nice if there was fans there and family and friends and all that kind of stuff. But we have to address these things. And like I said, sport doesn't always turn out how you plan, and you just have to enjoy it while you can.
Chris, Alex Lowe here. Just, I guess, to follow up Chris Foy's question earlier about players being tempted to go abroad. You talked about the 6-month season in America. The Japan season's pretty short. The Super Rugby season, they realised it got too big and unwieldy, and they're trying to contract that. Do you feel that sort of short, sharp season is going to be more attractive than the sort of 10, 11-month slog that you just described, and that could be one of the sort of key factors for a player?
Potentially, yeah. I think so. I think especially as probably guys get a little bit older, or if guys are a bit sore in their bodies themselves and might not be able to play as many games, or they might have to start filtering their training or anything like this. Look, I think the next kind of 12 months to 2 years is going to be a very interesting time for rugby in terms of everything going on. I mean, it's an interesting time for the world in general, and I don't think we're any exception to that. And we've just got to feel our way through it, see what happens. And we're very much the same. Every week we're told something slightly different, and it changes, and then we kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I think we're just going to have to be very patient with it.
The World Rugby model for this new kind of global season includes a shorter club season in France and England, fewer games therefore. Has it reached a point where the season just goes on too long here? Do you think that it would benefit the club game, benefit the players, if you weren't slogging for 11 months of the year?
Look, I think with it, everyone wants their piece of the pie, don't they? Everyone wants their games, and at the moment, no one's probably willing to budge a bit on that. And I think you look at, like you said, the leagues, the games, and it probably does have to be looked at. What the right number is, no one knows, though, do they? Is that then too short? Is that too long? We all want to model. We all set out our stands, all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I think the next 12 months is going to be an interesting time in terms of finishing this season, cracking on to next season, when that's going to start, all that. But like I said, it's not for me to worry about too much.
Chris, hi again. A couple of things that have been quite topical recently. Would you be in favour of the principle of summer rugby in these parts, even if you wouldn't be involved in it with your move? And B, do you think the tightening up of the salary cap is good news for the league?
Yeah, I don't want to go into the salary cap issues. In terms of summer rugby, I think we played 90% of our games this year in the rain, which wasn't particularly nice. It was a pretty wet thing. So I think if they're ever going to try stuff, they've got a window to try stuff now. If not, we'll just stick in and we'll continue with that model. From what I hear from grassroots clubs, it's more about that level in terms of, do they have the facilities to water the pitches? Is it health and safety for the kids running around on hard pitches? Of course, when you get to the Premiership and Champ and all that stuff, pitches are going to be watered, they're going to be looked after, they're going to be maintained. But is it kind of the knock-on effect of that? It'd be interesting to hear someone like Joe Marchant, who's been down playing Super Rugby, obviously dry conditions, warmer conditions, what it is going to be like. But like I said, I think if they're ever going to do it, they've got a good opportunity to do it now.